Hi, everyone, and welcome to Tactical Wisdom. Today, we're going to be talking about assault packs and comparing the two that I most commonly use. They're both Marine Corps assault packs, and there's a reason for that. So, we're going to get into that. We'll be comparing the two the U.S. Marine Corps' last two assault packs. Both are great options, but I've got some preferences, and I kind of switch back and forth between them. So the first one is the ILBE, Individual Load Bearing Equipment. It's one of the best systems ever made. It's a rucksack and an assault pack that clip together, and they're really great for getting out in the field and taking all of your gear. But they came out with some new body armor, and the ILBE packs just didn't interface well with it. It caused some bunching up of the body armor and didn't really fit with it. So they devised the FILBE, family of individual load bearing equipment, which is the current issue. While I like the assault pack, I'm not a fan of the RUCK because it's really just a giant open bag without a lot of real life capabilities. So why U.S. Marine Corps assault packs? While I am biased, I will freely admit it. That's not the reason. The Marine Corps is meant to operate on an expeditionary basis, and that means they're meant to get out ahead of their supply trains. Currently, the Marine Corps is getting back to the roots they had of World War II of being able to function without any supply from anyone else, living off the land, living out of what they can carry on their backs. And that comes from a memory of the last time we had to fight a war in the Pacific, and the Navy left us behind on Guadalcanal with no gear, no supplies. So they have to be able to live out of what's on their back. Also, if you look at all of the Marine Corps' outdoor gear over the last 20 years of fighting in the desert, their stuff is generally different from Army issue. They use their own stuff, from boots to tents to sleeping systems, because the Marine Corps is a lot more of a light infantry formation than the Army is. The Army generally will roll up into an area on their vehicles, dismount, and conduct their patrol or whatever, then get back in the vehicles and drive back. And the Marines don't operate that way. They move in on foot, leave on foot. So they've got a lot more outdoor gear. The gear's made to be more rugged, and I've had a ton of great experience with it. I just recently did 7 nights in my tent, my Marine Corps tent and sleeping bag and all of that, and still works great. It's very sturdy stuff. Another great thing is that now you can find brand new old stock. What that means is stuff that's been in storage and never issued, rather than getting used garbage that's got holes in it and been beat to crap by some guy. You can now get new old stock that they're rotating out and selling. So you can find this stuff brand new, still in packages, never issued. That's a great plus. So here are the two packs. The camouflage one is the ILBE pack, and the coyote brown one is the Philby pack. My Philby pack there is still set up from when I went to NC Scouts Scout and Recon class. I've got a couple pouches still on there and some arc bands for attaching camouflage. But these are the two packs. As you can see, the ILBE is slightly smaller than the Philby, and the Philby has a little bit more storage space. But other than that, they're both meant to be the same thing, a 72-hour type pack, or a carrying the things I need while I move over ground kind of bag, not a live out of kind of bag, neither one of them. So we're going to start right in on the Philby assault pack. I have it still set up from that week. So in the one picture, you see a large, what looks like a magazine pouch on there. That's actually got a tarp and some cordage in there so that I can quickly throw up shelter without opening up my main pack. It might be raining and I don't want anything to get wet. I can just grab the tarp out of there, throw it up in a tree, and I've got my shelter set up for the night. On the other side, I've got an e-tool pouch. That's where I generally keep my e-tool. It's obviously empty right now. But I want you to notice one thing on here. The zipper goes down farther on one side than the other. That's kind of neat. It allows you to kind of roll the pack down and get inside and find your stuff without the whole pack flopping open. So kind of a neat thing. You'll notice too that on one side it's got full rows of Molly, and the other side it's got half rows of Molly. The one with the full side, what I do when I don't have my shelter thing on there is I'll attach the water bladder over there. You can attach any larger pouch you have on that side, and you won't block your zipper. The other side, you can either attach something really wide over there, or what I do is I attach two small pouches and I'll put like a multi-tool in one, and the other one will have some other infantryman tool like a pair of snips to cut branches out of the way, or a folding saw to do the same thing, just so that I can get the tools I need without getting inside the pack. Those little half slots of MOLLE are great for that. So this is the outside of it. Um, both sides, you get a good look at it. They have cinching down straps on either side, so you can either attach something to the side like a rocket tube or a sleeping mat if you needed to, and cinch it down, or you can just make your bag smaller however you want to. It's got great permanently attached Velcro rollers there so that you don't have string hanging, or not string, straps hanging. It's good stuff. Here's the back of it. When you flip it over, there's the straps. The straps have a couple of rows of webbing on it. It's got a really good sternum strap, and it does have a waist belt. I've only used the waist belt once. It's not my thing. If you look at the one photo where I've got the straps pulled out of the way, you can see that the waist belt tucks in and goes behind those pads, so you never feel it. It doesn't get in your way. It doesn't bother you. What else is really cool is these pads. There's a channel in the middle for ventilation. The ILBE pack doesn't have that, and man, I sweat on the ILBE pack. This one, it lets some airflow in there, and I sweat a little bit less. You can also unbuckle the straps and tuck them down behind that padding so they're out of the way. The FILBE isn't meant to be attached to your main ruck, it's meant to go inside of it. This way you can put it in there without those straps tangling on everything else in your bag. Kind of a neat thing. It's also good for flying. You tuck them in there and those straps don't catch on everything as you're trying to get it in and out of the airplane. But cool stuff. That's the back of it. Here's looking down on the inside. The first photo is the inside of the main pack. You can see there's a little spot in the back there for a water bladder or radio or whatever. I generally don't use it for that. I generally have my water bladder on the outside of this one. But what's really cool about it is those two little, if you look on the very side by the zippers, there's two little pouches there. I threw in there the small things that get lost, like my titanium spork for eating out of pouches, or the one that comes up a little bit higher. I threw in there a bag of tent stakes. It's just easy to find them. They don't get lost and mixed in and jumbled around. Easy to grab them for when I'm throwing up my shelter. In that top mesh zipper thing is where I throw my hygiene gear. I'm going to put a toothbrush, toothpaste, all of my cleaning gear for cleaning myself is going to go right in that. So it's always in the right place, easy to find. The other open part there is that bottom large pouch that's attached to the front. I keep this one all of my observation and readiness gear. So, for example, I'll keep night vision in here or binoculars. Write in the Rain notebook. My battle board sits in here. All the stuff that I need to take notes and observe things that I'm going to be getting in and out of my pack all the time is going to be right here. And I use that zipper pouch compartment for the accessories for that. Spare batteries, some cordage to attach those things so that they don't fall down. A small little mini tripod for my observation devices so that if I'm laying down, I can get a little bit stabler of a view. I put that all in that zipper pouch. The next cool thing about the FILBE is the assault pouches. This one I have one attached to the top of mine. Each pack comes with one. I've bought a couple extra, as you can see on the side there, and I basically build them into kits. So like one's a survival kit, and I just throw it inside my backpacks. That way I can move it from backpack to backpack. Another one is my booby trap kit. It's got a couple of perimeter triple arms in it, and a bunch of Kevlar wire, and some blanks, or not blanks, I'm sorry, primers for setting up the perimeter triple arms. Just a way that I can grab this little kit and move it back and forth. This is very similar to Exumbrus's general purpose pouches. So cool things. The one that I have on the backpack there, I showed you one open there. What I do is in the front larger section, I keep like a Solitac PTK, some sort of a first aid kit, and then next to that a boo boo kit, a bunch of different size band-aids and first aid ointment for the smaller cuts and scrapes you're going to get on your hand all day. I also keep in here things like my all natural bug spray and different things like that that I can get at quickly. In the back part, the very smaller section, I keep gloves, a neck gaiter, and a hat, along with a camo stick. So that's my kind of covering up my skin and protecting it or getting camouflaged section. So I keep that right on top, easy to get to real fast. I might also throw another notebook in there. You will not run out of things you need to write down, so it's good to have these things. The thing about the Philby pack is that it's coyote brown, and that's great for the last 20 years of fighting in the desert and dealing with insurgents in desert countries. Not so good for northern Michigan in the summer or North Carolina or Montana, any of the places I find myself operating in. So I wanted to cover, and this is made by 0241 Tactical. I was pointed towards him by both NC Scout and John at Alpha Charlie Concepts. He made these. He made this for me. It's basically he took some tarp material and turned it into a pack cover by adding elastic, so it waterproofs my backpack and camouflages it. I use this one on both of my packs, but I use it more often with this one to camouflage it. I want to keep my pack dry, but if I also want to throw that pack underneath there, I don't want a big patch of brown sticking out in a wooded area. So I throw this pack on it, slide it underneath there. It stays nice and dry no matter what happens, and it stays camouflaged. Great thing to have. I have camouflage pack covers for every possible environment. I've got desert ones, I've got winter ones. You should have whatever you're likely to be operating in. Now the ILBE Assault Pack. You already saw the front on side with the 6 rows of Molly webbing. There is a medic version that has 9 rows, but this is just a standard one. As you can see, the zipper goes down all the way on both sides, probably 3/4 of the way down. So the whole pack opens up. You can fold it out and see what you got in there pretty well. And there are 3 rows of webbing on each side. I generally keep on this one a saw pouch on one side with food or other gear in it, and then my e-tool on the other side. Very similar to the other one. Just keeping what I need at hand on the outside of the pack. It also has cinching straps on the side that you could attach a sleeping pad, rocket tubes, whatever you want. Even a tent could actually be fit in those straps on the side. Whatever you need to put on there, you can, and help cinch it down tight. On the back, just like the other one I showed you, this one also has a really nice sternum strap, but it doesn't have as much webbing to attach things to the straps. So that's one consideration that kind of counts against it. I'd like to have a little more, but there isn't any. Excuse me. It does also have a waist strap that does tuck inside the bottom back there. This one you could feel a little bit more, but it doesn't really bother me that much. It angles out just a touch, so it doesn't really rub too bad. But as you notice, the back of this one is flat, so I tend to sweat back there if I'm wearing like a regular BDU shirt. It's not so bad with a combat shirt, but with a regular BDU shirt, it does get a little warm. So that's the back. Moving into the compartments, the main compartment, like it shows here, is just a great big open space. There's no little pouches or anything in it. It does have a compartment in the very back there with an elastic top to drop a water bladder in, and it's got a little thing to feed the water bladder through on top. So you could put a water bladder in here. I generally don't keep one in here, but you could. Um, anyway, just a great big open space. What I do normally keep in mind is rain gear and shelter gear. So I'll talk about it when we get to the max section. But I keep a whoopee in here and another poncho and another standard rain gear. The outer pocket there is it runs the full length of the front and it's just one zipper down the front. So I keep in here observation gear or small amount of food for less than 24 hours, a couple of cut down MREs maybe for 2 days. But you can attach other things onto the webbing on the back for more storage. Both of these packs are made by Proper International, so that's kind of cool. Same manufacturers, good high quality, good stuff. Now, this is where the Philby pack really comes in and wins is the bottom. On the bottom, as you can see, there's a couple rows of webbing there. There's nothing on the bottom of the ILBE. So if I wanted to attach sleeping gear or wet weather gear to the bottom or anything really to the bottom, rocket tube, if you're actually still active duty, we would never find rockets. Whatever you need to attach to the bottom, you can on the Philby pack. You can't do that on the ILBE, not easily anyway. So if I've got stuff in there like clothes, clean socks, clean underwear, things like that, I want to keep it all dry. The way to do that is by waterproofing. The first pack there, the larger one, that's an assault pack liner. It's meant to fill, you put everything you need in there and close it up, and it fills the whole interior space of the ILBE Assault Pack. I don't like it because then I have to open up the waterproof pack to find everything, but it is good to have. Another thing that actually works good for it, or that's good about it, is that when you turn it inside out, it's orange, so it makes a great signal panel. What I actually use this one for more often, though, is to put my clothes in it inside the full ruck rather than using the full ruck liner. Anyway, it's an option. The other one, though, that I do like to use are these little Max sacks, the smaller one there that you see. These are little 9-liter bags. I keep one that has my Whoopee in it, so nobody likes to get in a cold, wet blanket. So I keep mine in there, sealed up and dry. You can really compress things down small in these bags. The other one keeps some snivel gear like base layer type stuff, spare t-shirts, spare underwear, spare socks in the other one. Want those all to be nice and dry. They're each also individually wrapped in Ziploc bags so that I also have trash bags to carry things out in. So waterproofing is key. Get some little waterproof bags, whether you just buy outdoor type dry bags. Get something good and high quality with a one-way valve like these have. Great stuff. So which one? With both of these options, which one do I use? Well, if we're in a without rule of law situation, my EDC everyday carry backpack is going to be the ILBE. It's a little bit lighter. I can throw it on and off faster. It's easier to stow in a vehicle. It's going to be what I use around my compound wherever I'm at when I know I'm staying inside the wire that day or whatever. For a short-term patrol under a day, I'll also use the ILBE. So if I want to walk down to the freeway interchange a mile away to go and look at it for a couple hours and come back, I'm just going to take the lighter pack. However, if I'm doing anything that's a 36 to 72 hour operation, we're going to go out, watch an intersection for a day and a half, and then come back. I'm going to take the Filbie. I can get more in it. It's a little bit more robust of a platform for carrying more stuff in it. A little bit larger, a little bit more capable of operating on your own from it. So that's 36 to 72 hours. Any patrol over 72 hours, though, I'm going to use the ILBE Ruck and Assault Pack combination. The two are meant to go together. And if I'm doing anything out of a patrol base, for example, we're gonna walk 12 hours to this location. We're gonna observe it for the next 2 days, conduct a raid on day 3, and then start working our way back. Like full on operations out of a patrol base, I would take the ILBE Ruck and Assault Pack. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, the two attach together. So what you can see here, I don't have them full; they're just sitting there. There is the ILBE main ruck, and attached to the back of it is my assault pack. It You just undo a couple of the straps and clip them onto the main backpack, and you carry the whole thing as one large ruck. It's a great way of doing it. That way, it's not taking up space inside the ruck. It's attached on it, and it's held pretty tight up against there. It works out great using the two together. Cool stuff. So, having said all that, coming soon. As we get closer to von Steuben Training's Jaeger course, we're going to do some videos on packing my full ruck for it and packing my assault pack. Basically, his Jaeger course is a 5-day patrol operation course. It's ran as one long patrol where you're going to live out of your ruck and assault pack for the whole week. So basically, we're going to throw on the full ruck and everything, walk into a location instead of a patrol base where we will dump our rucks and switch to our assault packs, and then conduct operations and then pack up and leave. So it's going to be a neat course. And as part of that, might as well make a video of me packing these things up as while we get ready. Also, tactical wisdom training. I appreciate you guys watching this video, but as we get into the warmer months, we're going to be hosting Fieldcraft weekends. We'll be putting up signups and things like that. They're going to be weekend training events where we're going to go out and we're going to learn to set up our own patrol base. We're going to learn to set up a secure campsite like we talk about in Tactical Wisdom 2, Fieldcraft. We're going to go out there and set these up. Then during the day, we'll work on individual movement skills, maybe setting up observation posts, how to pick a good spot, and through terrain analysis and some land navigation. These aren't shoot and move classes. These are just getting out and learning wood skills, and fieldcraft, because so many people focus already on the shoot and move skills, but they neglect the fieldcraft skills. And guess which one's going to help you survive longer? The fieldcraft skills. If I've got good fieldcraft, I don't need to use those shoot and move skills as often. I can use them only when it's to my advantage. So we're going to be doing some fieldcraft weekends. Look for it coming up. Make sure you follow us at tactical-wisdom.com. And thank our show's sponsor, BattleBox. By checking below, there's a link. You can get a 25% off discount at BattleBox. Buy your first BattleBox and get some outdoor gear at probably about 25 to 40% below your retail prices. So good stuff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.